Okay.
Thank you, Teresa. So it's at this time that we go into prayer together. We often do that by taking a breath, being fully in our bodies, aware of our human nature, our spiritual nature. We open our hearts and our minds. We always express gratitude for this moment, for each other, for the music and the message today. And let us pause for a moment. And everyone, if it seems useful, just express your own gratitude. Aware of the beauty in our world, aware of the good within us and in our world. We again say thank you, and so it is. And we will hear from Teresa again.
Thank you. Okay. Well, Bobbie shared that this is she was going to speak sort of about to celebration and sort of the beauty of being together and the spirituality that you find in that. And I wanted to share my song that I wrote about my third birthday when I was a child, and I have 5 older siblings, so this is a little glimpse into my life growing up. In my best red dress and a pointy hat I sit, and you surround me, a homemade birthday cake, 3 candles lit with you around me. Loner, goofball, motherly one, the ringleader, and the responsible one. A rare photo, if there ever was one. I'm wrapped up in your attention like the baby doll you'd given me. We are all together. My big sister and bigger brothers, I can see who you'll become. This picture and all the others are proof where I come from. You taught and teased and chased me, criticized and praised me, and unwittingly you raised me. And of all the important people in the world to me, you were the total sum. We are all together. The house of chaos was our life raft till it broke in time's ocean churn. The walls are papered now with photographs, and now as the tide we have returned. In my new white dress with flowers, I stand and you surround me like the wedding band I wear. I feel your love around me. Let's sing and dance and laugh. Raise a toast up to our past and take another photograph to chronicle this moment and our family, since finally we are all together. We are all together. We are all together. Together.
What a precious memory. Thank you, Teresa. So it's at this time that Bobbie is here to share her wisdom. Thank you, Bobbie. You muted.
Sorry, there I am. I love when I get to talk to you all because it's kind of a spiritual trusting that happens. Is I've learned that I get the message a couple days before the talk, and I don't always understand what I get, but I trust it and it kind of develops. So this time I got the word celebration. And I'm like, well, that makes sense. First of all, Unity Longmont is celebrating its 16th year this month. Amazingly. There were so many times we thought we wouldn't be able to make it, and still here we are, just as strong, even stronger. Secondly, Deva has been our spiritual leader for 10 years this month. Yeah. And we so appreciate her and her wisdom and her dedication and her commitment to us. She's the centering essence of our group. And then, of course, it's Thanksgiving. And there's always that celebration going on and leading on into Christmas. So here we are in the season of celebrations. And I was thinking about how that season is in particular about gatherings, about family, about being with people we love. And I was also thinking how they're joyous. It's great to see people, but with our close family and our close friends, there's also a little undercurrent of angst because, you know, we don't all think the same way. We have a little history with each other. We want to make sure we don't ruffle any feathers. So we tend to see, and I'll tell you, I had a family reunion last May and we hadn't seen each other for a couple of years. And I have a big family, 5 siblings, and lots of nieces and nephews. And so we came together in a park in Pennsylvania, and I had all of those feelings. Oh, it's great to see everybody. And after about 15 minutes, it's like the judgments and the comparisons kept coming into my head. Like, remember when, or they don't believe this like I do, or I don't believe like they do. And I can't talk about this or that. And look how they're raising their kids. And, you know, all this mental angst. And I noticed how we focus on our differences. We do. We focus on our differences. We make comparison. Am I like them? Are they like me? You know, with almost everyone we meet. And so the second word that I got a day or two after I got the word celebration was differences. Okay, I see how that fits. I see how that fits. And then I was saying, okay, differences, celebration, how's that going to fold into a talk that makes sense? And I was given more words, one at a time, not any thoughts, not any sentences, not any coherence, just words. So these are the words I got. Celebration, differences, division, separation. One, out of one, many. Then I got unity, reverence, all, out of many, one. So I'm like, okay, I think I see a thread here. Let's see where it goes. So it seems as if in this life, we're always trying to separate in one way or another. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's our human nature. We're many different beings. And we're already one, but we assume we are many. We are one beingness, but we assume in our humanity that we're all different. And in many ways we are. Have you ever noticed how quickly a group of people can separate into opposing groups? Look at any religion. It starts out with a creed and a belief system and followers, and they're all as one, but it's not too long, not very long at all, before you start seeing sects and denominations and sub-denominations, and you see all of these separating things. It's almost like they're multiplying into differences, just like people. We multiply, but we're all different. Political parties are the same way. They start out with a platform. Everybody agrees, we're going to go, and this is our goal and our aim, and elect us because we're, this and this and this. And then you see it shift, and you see fallout, and you see groups form, and you see all of a sudden the oneness now has sort of metastasized into opposing views. And I began to ponder this. What makes us humans want to close ranks against each other? Why do we want to make an us and a them? It seems natural. It seems it always happens. It's always happened before anyway. What makes that? We have perpetrators, victims, haves, have-nots. It seems like it's a far cry from our spiritual journey to a oneness when we're all trying to diverge. It almost seems like we're programmed to separate. And when you think about it, how are we formed? We're formed from separating cells in our mother's womb. It's in our DNA to make many from one. It seems like we want to enjoy our us-ness, our individuality, and we do, don't we? We all have different talents and proclivities and things that make us happy, things that make us sad. We all enjoy being me or you. And yet, what would we be if there were just one of us? Just one human without all the others? We wouldn't last very long. I remember when I was a kid, I read this story. It was a science fiction story about somebody who woke up and everybody else in the world had passed. And there they were with all of the riches and the wealth of the world at their disposal. And so they got very happy and they ran out and they, oh, here's a new car, I'm going to drive that. And they did, and they drove it, and pretty soon it ran out of gas. And where are they going to find more gas? Well, not very long. All the gas supply was gone, all the food supply was gone, and there they were alone in a barren world with no others. So we know we can't exist without each other. At some level, we know that. And we know we're not truly separate. We all want the same thing. We want peace and harmony in this world. But we forget we already have it in our spiritual self, in our true being, in who we really are. We are peace and harmony, experiencing separation and disharmony. So we can hear the angels' song, peace on earth, goodwill towards men. We can hear that. It's in our psyche, and we want that. We really do want that. Even the most violent and egotistical among us is seeking safety, is seeking peace in a world they see as full of threats. And sometimes that's us too. We all contain the same physical stuff in our bodies. We're all star stuff. Every element in the universe is what we're made of. It's in us. We're carbon, we're We're oxygen, we're air, we're all of those things. Why then is it so difficult to see ourselves in others? And that's the paradox of being human and divine. We're pulled. I'm me and you're you. And yet I don't really see that I'm me and you're you are the same thing. This is the cosmic joke. How can we live together with ourselves? Okay, back to celebrations. So when we are living our human lives, it seems instinctive from time immemorial that we have arranged for celebrations. Even back in, prehistoric days, people gathered, they celebrated, they feasted. And thank God, because without celebrations, what would be the impetus for us to actually come together? Without remembering, without asserting our common memories for common goals and common times that we've shared. Even in my family reunion in May, with all the divergent people there, we could laugh and share memories of when we were kids. And Teresa, I loved your song about your 3-year-old party, because that's how our family was. And so I think that God has given us the proclivity to celebrate, to remind us of our unity, to remind us of getting together and being together, even though we see differences, even though we tend to compare one against the other, even though we have preferences, and yet we sit together, we pray together, we eat together, we love together. God reminds us of our unity through celebration, our oneness. Even as we run back into our human identity for seeming safety. I can't give you too much of me or I will disappear. That's the way it feels anyway. So we do seek our safety in separation. Isn't that ironic? When our safety is actually in unity. We are so funny. We little humans. So we have celebrations to bring us back together for a while. So I looked up celebration, of course, to see what the world says it means. And it says, regardless of the season we're having in life, one of abundance or one of lament, celebration can be an act of worship that allows you to once again see the goodness in the world around you and recognize that God is the one who, in love, created us to experience joy and fullness. And you can substitute whatever term you're comfortable with for the word God. It's not a thing. I don't believe God isn't a separate existence, a separate being. It is something our minds cannot grasp. So let's explore the idea that celebration can be an act of worship. A celebration, he says, can be an act of worship that allows you to once again see the goodness in the world. And as I was meditating on celebration as an act of worship, I got the second set of words: unity, reverence, awe, and e pluribus unum, the little motto that's on our coins that says, out of many, one. So let's look at unity. That is our namesake, right? Unity is what we stand for, our spiritual name. And it's defined as the state of being one or united, oneness, singleness, something complete in itself, the quality of being one in spirit, sentiment, purpose, harmony, agreement, uniformity. And David Hawkins, the philosopher who wrote, I'm blanking on the title, but he wrote many books about spirituality and levels of consciousness. And he says, in the unity of oneness, there is no separate this causing a separate that. So as we continually experience ourselves as separate, we also can remember our oneness. Can we actively do that at a family reunion, or at a Thanksgiving gathering, or a Christmas party, or an encounter with someone who seems to personify all that we vilify? Can we do that? Not without divine help. We need to ask for the willingness to see through the eyes of Christ consciousness. When I see my brother, my actual biological brother, and all the trouble he's been in, and all the hard times we've had together, and all the disagreements. There I was at the family reunion with him. We're both old and gray. And I asked, and I saw something different. I saw him through all of the history. I saw his beingness. I saw his oneness. I saw how we were given roles to play for each other, to come to this moment that we were able to see each other. So I believe there's a spiritual purpose to our human experience of separation. And that purpose is to point out each time we encounter another being, another human, that God sees both of us as one. He doesn't see us as different people. He sees us as one. So the prayer is, ask for the Christ consciousness to see through those eyes, the eyes of Christ. And then when we do, we experience a miracle. We experience a shift. We experience a letting go of all the history and the judgments and the comparisons. We go from suspicion to connection. When I see a person whom I might have differences with, and I ask to see them through the eyes of Christ, I sometimes literally see their face change. Their demeanor appears to change before my eyes. Instead of being closed and tight, it becomes open and receptive. And I'm sure I see that because that's happening in me and it's being mirrored back to me. I am seeing them with reverence. That was the next word I was given in that list of words, reverence. I'm honoring their divine essence. So what is reverence? Reverence is defined as a feeling or attitude of deep respect tinged with awe and veneration. Reverence involves a humbling of the self in respectful recognition of something perceived to be greater than the self. Hence, when we think of God or spiritual beings, we tend to go into reverence, which tinges on awe, which means the mind can't get involved because the mind doesn't do awe. The mind just goes, I don't know. But the awe is a feeling of openness and expansiveness that the mind cannot comprehend. So when I see someone with the eyes of Christ consciousness, I feel humbled to be in their presence, like my brother at the family reunion. I become reverent. All of my differences, fears of conflict, all of those judgments are dissolved in the presence of what God has made and put before me, of what the universe has created and put before me. And I could literally actually feel the relief of judgments dropping away when I saw my brother that day. And all of my predisposition to be condescending, I could see all of that dissolve. And I was just standing there going, oh, who are you? You're wonderful. And since that time, I've actually, when we text, and so we have a group sibling kind of chain text that goes on daily. And he's asking for things like praying for others and things that I would never have put or noticed about him. He's got a soft heart. I didn't notice that before because I was blinded by my perception of differences. So that gathering was a catalyst to see his holiness and the holiness of all the others there. And then to see my own, for we are all holy. And so we all of us here in the world move together in oneness towards realizing that we are that one. The miracle of that sight, the miracle of Christ's sight, the Christ consciousness eyes, inspires reverence whenever two of us meet. When we truly see each other as God sees us, it is awesome. And that's the final word, awe. And awe is defined as an overwhelming feeling of reverence, admiration, fear even, produced by that which is grand, sublime, and extremely powerful. Awe is what happens when we are in and experiencing and aware of the presence of our Creator, the presence of our oneness, the presence of our beingness. Experiencing awe comes from what is called perceiving vastness. It challenges us to rethink previously held ideas. It can be triggered by seeing beautiful sights like the Grand Canyon or a beautiful sunset, or witnessing an act of kindness, like being in the line at Starbucks and pulling up to the window to pay for your drink, and the server says, "Oh, the car in front of you paid for you." That's awesome. I'm sorry, but that is awesome. These little things in our lives that we kind of glance over and take for granted are all little specks of awness, little specks of awesome beingness. So what would it be like if we truly held each other with awe? What could be more awesome than to see another person that God created? Each person is a vast perception, the definition of awe, a vast perception, truly unknowable, even though we think we know them, unknowable, and at the same time imminently knowable because they are us. So God, I liken him to or her, or it, or whatever it is that moves us, to a divine storyteller of life. And we have been given endless stories. Each of our lives is composed up of story after story after story. And there are billions of us. So how many stories are there in life that we can partake in and look at and know? Each story has, it could be a drama, a tragedy, a comedy, a mystery. They have protagonists and antagonists, characters we love or hate, but all of that is part of the story of us. We're all of it. We have endless stories to act out in our own lives and opportunities to practice seeing each other as joined as one. So here we are in the week of Thanksgiving, the Thanksgiving story. What if, as we sat around the dinner table, or however you celebrate, maybe you celebrate on connecting with other people by a phone or FaceTime or Zoom, but how about if we actually celebrated Thanksgiving, either with others or alone, and silently looked at the people in our lives around the table, actually or virtually? What if we let our ideas about them sink into conscious awareness? In other words, expanding our awareness of them. And as each idea we have of each other surfaces, we ask for divine help, divine presence, to take that idea and replace it with the awareness of the true nature of that person. Just as a simple exercise. You can do it quietly by yourself. You don't have to let others know you're doing it, but just looking around the table or around wherever you are and saying, I don't know who you are. Even at a restaurant, we can look at people, we always make a judgment, immediate judgment about who they are and where they come from, just because we do. But what if we notice that about the people that we're sitting with, and we consciously let that, asking for help, to let that drop, and we see in front of us a total newness, a presence, the awareness of the true nature of that person? What would we see? Would we be in awe? So let's give thanks for the others in our lives. They are the true blessings, no matter what our stories are with them. And every time you look at your coins, look at that e pluribus unum. Our founding fathers knew something. Out of many, one. And let's give thanks for our unity gathering, our 16th birthday celebration, and for Deva, our wonderful, lovely, compassionately capable spiritual leader who has led us through some really tough times over the past 10 years. And let's get thank, and that we are here as strong as we are, as strong as ever, is awesome. So everyone, have an awesome Thanksgiving. And so it is.
Brilliant, Bobbie, brilliant. Thank you so much. That just fills the heart. And let us hear from Teresa.
Buddha sat for 7 years under a tree, watching the river wash him clean. John the Baptist told Jesus, wade into the stream so he could wash him clean. And I am here listening. Come sit down, this kitchen table is made of shaker wood. It is strong, has a spirit running through it. Give me details of your life, I will pour the wine. Maybe we will find in vino veritas. Come clean, come clean, come clean, come clean with me. Times I feel alone. I peek through your window. If we threw them wider, we might ask, why are we hiding? The Buddha had a wife and child. He lived a life of luxury. Jesus knew a woman, defended thugs and thieves. You have lived and loved your way, made your own mistakes, but who am I to judge? I live the same way. Come clean, come clean, come clean, come clean with me. Times I feel alone. I peek through your window. If we threw them wider, we might ask, why are we fighting? If you trust me, you'll find trust. Love me, you'll find love. I'll tear down my defenses. 'Cause it doesn't matter if we're friends, enemies, lovers, or countries. Come clean, come clean, come clean, come clean, come clean, come clean with me, come clean with me, come clean with me.
More brilliance. Thank you, Teresa. Beautiful. It's at this time that we go into our donation of love and light by taking a breath together and being aware of our body, our mind, our heart, our spirit. We've just been reminded of who we are. And it is with grace and ease we can take a breath and share the love and light that we are, just by releasing it, by opening up. Allow it to expand into our world. Allow it to go wherever it is most needed. We allow for awe and reverence and love. Knowing we can do this at any time, we are grateful for this and all opportunities. We say thank you. And so it is, and we will hear from Teresa.
Grateful to the mountains for reminding me I'm small, showing me the way to hold my head up tall. I'm humbled before nature, painting picture-perfect scenes on this canvas that we live in, and is constantly changing. And I love this world, this world. I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to the paper and the pen with which I write, for being midwife to my thoughts, bringing them alive. I'm humbled by songs that have helped me through my days, that made my nights seem not so long. I love this world, and I love this whole wide world. I'm grateful to my parents for bringing me to earth, my family, friends, and lovers for showing me what my life is worth. And I'm humbled by this moment, because it's all we ever had, the power that's within it to give us peace, peace at last. World.